Hello everybody, Logan here with another video. Welcome back to episode 3 of Triple Terror. This is where I recap Spirit Halloween's latest mass animatronic drop. If you are unaware, as of, June 28th, so that's 2 days ago, Spirit Halloween just up and dropped a whole bunch of animatronics. Now, some of them are for sale, some of them are still kind of pending. Maybe they don't have enough stock, who knows. So, because there's so many that they released, for kind of simplistic purposes, I am covering them in groups of 3. That's just so I can keep these videos relatively short, though they are longer than my normal discussion videos, and also so I don't totally fry my voice, as if I talk for too long, my throat burns like hell. So in today's episode, I'll be discussing the Eternal Rest, Dagger Mike, and the Black Heart. Now before we begin, I want to do a little disclaimer. If I sound like crap, I want to apologize ahead of time. Currently, due to the Canadian forest fires, all of the smoke has just come here to Indiana. It's actually quite a ghastly sight when you step outside around here. And unfortunately for me, I have a very sensitive upper respiratory system and I have very sensitive allergies. So usually I record these videos in the morning when I'm probably at my worst. Currently I'm feeling okay. I'm actually pre-recording this video so I don't sound as terrible. But, it's kind of a future reference type of situation, or if I just have a random flare-up in the middle of this video. I know my first video was kind of choppy. It was because I had random flare-ups from my allergies. I am severely allergic to smoke. I can't be outside for long periods of time right now because I basically start dying and I get really stuffy and sick. So with that out of the way, let's discuss our first animatronic, the 3-foot Eternal Rest by Sound and Light. So this is our second Sound and Light animatronic. This is another one of their budgety pieces. I do say that loosely because this one, like Gordo, is over $100. This is $139.99 and it is in stock, by the way. This is a lot closer to Tombstone Terror that we got last season, with it being a simplistic jump scare, but it also being cemetery themed. So, in concept, the Eternal Rest is a 3-foot blow mold tombstone that has a statue overlooking a tombstone. It's built onto the tombstone, and she's crying. You can actually see tears running down her face. And when activated, the head spins a quick 360 and reveals a skull where her face should be, and she screams. She's got kind of like that stock banshee scream. Really simple concept, but I do think it is well done. This is actually an animatronic that was teased very early on, and we saw this skull, and a lot of people were like, oh, I think it's a warrior, I think it's a reaper, and it actually ended up being the Eternal Rest. Now, I actually do like this animatronic quite a bit. I like the tombstone props personally. It adds a little more life to my cemetery. I like having tombstones that have some animation to them or have a prop attached to them with animation. So I like this one quite a bit. It is on the more simpler side. There's really not a whole lot visually to it, but that's okay. I do like that the statue itself, her face doesn't appear to be crying, but you can see the streaks where there are tears, like the spirit has possessed that statue. And I think that's a really clever detail. I like that it's not warped in sadness. It's a very subtle detail. It does appear that this comes apart in 2 pieces, hopefully for easy storage. The skull, I'm pulling up pictures so you can hear me clicking, by the way. This skull sculpt looks pretty cool. Again, it's super simple. I do like how well it blends into the other half of the body, like with the cloak, because she's like wearing a robe. I think she's supposed to be a nun. That's a popular character. A nun and an angel and a reaper are 3 popular characters you see associated with tombstones. I think she's supposed to be a nun on this. So I do like how it still properly blends in with the rest of the robe, because it is very well textured like fabric with all the, the wrinkles and the folds. So again, I do like that it still blends in very well. I like the little tiny trend of the 2-faced animatronics this year. This is our 2nd one this year, I believe. I'll be talking about the other one soon, if the picker wheel chooses it for the next video. Super duper hope it does. But yeah, not a whole lot more to say about it. Again, it's a smaller piece, and it's effective for what it is. I like it. I do plan on getting it with that delicious, beautiful coupon. So moving on to another smaller piece, but slightly bigger. We're talking about Crazy Creates 4.9 foot Dagger Mike. So this is a clown by Crazy Create. We are seeing a steady trend of Crazy Create clowns, which I do appreciate it, because they do good. See, I'm like fumbling my words here. They do really good clowns, and I like that this one's another little kid clown that they've done. This is their 2nd so far, next to Harriet Hustle. Now, this actually, I believe, has the same background music as the Henry and Hustle props, so you could actually put it in with them. And since he has like the daggers and Harriet has like the knife, it would go well with her. The overall design, I like the vintage aesthetic to him. The only thing is the costume does look a little weird. I'm sure it is based off of an actual period clown costume. Like, I won't, deny that. I've never seen it, but it looks a little weird, especially with how short the legs are and how long the body is. But again, I'm sure that this is an actual period clown costume. If I actually find out what it is, I will put it in the comments to give a little background to it, because I love historic clown representations. I think it's so fascinating. The makeup, again, I like how it's very old and vintage styled. The color scheme, I do like. It's this deep crimson, and on the costuming, it's that dark crimson with a cream color. I like he's got his little hat. The daggers appear to be, what would you say, like chrome. They have a chrome finish. So it's not just a flat silver, and it, like you can see it in the video, and it looks really good. Very, very, very well done. It is an effect that I highly appreciate. The only thing I will say about Dagger Mike is I do wish that he was a little bloody. He had some blood on the daggers, because he's a jump scare. He's kind of like Skelly, but like, it's the same premise. The only difference is he doesn't go down as low as Skelly. He just kind of lowers his arms and head, and then kind of just slumps down a bit, and then he pops up really quick. So it's like he's close to Skelly, but not exactly like him. So I don't know. It's a cool concept. I do like the animation. I think it's really well done, and it matches him for what he is. These creepy, blacked out demon eyes. I like it. It's simple, but it works for him. Again, only thing it would do is gloss over the eyes and the mouth with some resin just to give it a little, shine. That's it. Because I know Crazy Crate will sometimes put like plastic film over the eyes to give it a little bit of a shine. They just paint it over it, which I get it because there's no print. He doesn't appear to be like a demon clown, unlike the other Crazy Crate clown, which is Poor George. We'll discuss him. Do not worry. Don't know when, but we'll talk about him. But yeah, I do like Dagger Mike, and I will buy him for sure. So Dagger Mike is actually on the lower end of the price spectrum at $169.99, which is kind of a breath of fresh air because usually the clowns are a lot more expensive. So I do like that Dagger Mike is cheaper, and he is currently available for stock. So, and also audio is super simple. It's just laughter, and then he goes, ah! And also for Eternal Rest, don't forget to mention that it's crying and screaming. Well, I did mention that. So then for our final animatronic, this is another one of my personal favorites. It's crazy that like a lot of my favorites aren't the clowns this year because they're other characters are actually outshining them. This is the Black Heart. Now, when I first heard the name Black Heart, I was very interested. When I heard the story, I was even more interested. And then when we got our first trailer, and no, this would have been the second one, I believe. Like when they're showing the tombstones in the cemetery, and we heard the voice, and it was a male, it wasn't a female. That's when I was like, okay, we're gonna get something really fascinating. And I was not disappointed. I am very hypercritical about Reapers. I am. And I'll tell you why. Reapers are characters that typically are lazily done. They'll just do a skeleton of black rope, put a scythe on it, and throw it out the door. This is a really good example on how to do a Reaper properly. This is a very, I would say, old school spirit item. This is something that I could see done in the early 2000s. I believe this is Crazy Create, if I remember correctly. I think it is. If I'm incorrect, please correct me. It's hard to remember all these companies and who did what. I'm gonna be honest. I don't have it written down anymore. But I think this is Crazy Create. And I like the animation where he's kind of covering the corpse. Her name's Ava. I will refer to her as Ava. He's covering Ava. He's got his head tucked down. And upon activation, he uncovers her and he lifts his head up and he speaks. Now, the Reaper itself, it looks good. It's what I would want a Reaper to be. But I really want to talk about Ava here. How she is this withered, just soulless corpse. She looks very well done. I like that she kind of looks like she has like some thinning or some thinning red hair. She actually has eyelashes too. Her eyes are sunken in. She's very just withered. I love that. What I also like about these two characters together is that Ava's got this black goop coming out of her mouth. I'm assuming this like meant to be blood or something. And it's like staining her dress. And then if you actually look on the Reaper, it's got it smeared on his bottom jaw. It's dripping out of his bottom jaw. And I talked about how Ava was like looking for a lover and that she died against the Black Heart's lips. And they really told that story on this prop. And it's such a smart detail. I love it. I really appreciate the detail that went into this. It's just like The Widow, how I thought The Widow was really well thought out, and this is no exception. This is another prop where I definitely see this selling extraordinarily well. It's a reimagining of such a classic character, but with an excellent, excellent twist. And I do like the lack of lighting on this one. I think, he does need to light up eyes. It looks good. I like the stance Ava's in. What I actually really like, I want to point this out about Ava, is how her skirt blends in with the cloak. So at first glance, because she's, pressed up against the Reaper, you really don't. I feel like it's something you're not going to notice immediately until he reveals her. And then you're like, oh crap, that's a person. Like, it looks so good. And Ava herself looks so realistic. That sculpt it almost looks like a life cast. It really does. It's so well done for consumer grade animatronic. I love it. So Black Heart is currently going for $299.99. So it's a $300 prop. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's worth it. So Black Heart is 6.5 feet. So what you're essentially getting is you're getting one large, I would say oversized animatronic, and then with it you're getting I would say she's about 5 foot. So you're getting a 5 foot, very well sculpted static with it. I would say it's worth it. And he's very well animated. His head moves, his arm moves, his jaw moves very well. His head's plastic too, which I appreciate that they made it plastic. It's painted beautifully. I love the black goop coming out of his mouth, it coming out of Ava's mouth. I like how he's kind of holding up her head. Oh man, this is what I want in a Reaper. Like, this is what I would imagine death to be. To hold a withered corpse as he just drains the life out of a person to take them to the underworld. This is just beautifully done. Bravo, Spirit. I mean, come on. This is, again, an amazing take on such a classic character. Like, this is what I want to see. And pitching an idea, but like next year, take this same concept, do it with vampire, and like a vampire who's like concubine or bride or whatever you want to do. Like, just a silly little idea. Now, all these props I just mentioned, they're all in store. All of them are available to purchase. They're all in stock right now. So go get them. They're all super great. Again, I am so happy, and I'm so happy with this year's lineup. I really think it's well done. And also, Blackheart's phrases, super cool too. He's got 3 phrases, all very well done. But again, all the props so far, except for like 2. I really don't like 2. They're great. Good job, Spirit. Spirit, you did good. You improved a lot this year. And you really made some darker, scarier props. So, yeah. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about these 3. And also, tell me, what's your favorite animatronic so far from Spirit? It's hard for me to pick a singular favorite. I have, like, so many I love, Anyway, guys, that's all from me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, while you're at it, have a wonderful day. Take it easy. Happy Friday. And just smell the roses. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.